Welcome to Projects for All. My name is Mike, and today we got Wen's cordless 6.5-inch Tracksaw kit to check out. We've got Powertec tracks, and we're going to compare these to the Wen tracks we used for the corded 6.5-inch Wen Tracksaw. So let's get this stuff out of the box, check it out, and see if it's any good. This box is open because I already charged the batteries. It's our Wen charger, 4 amp hour, 20 volt batteries. You get 2 of them. Obviously, I bought a better blade for this so we can see what it can really do. You get a little dust port and a manual. Here's our Wen battery. Got some overmold on the bottom. And a little basic battery meter. Here's your basic Wen charger. 20 volt DC, 2 amp output. This is not a fast charger, I'm gonna tell you right now. We'll figure it out at the end and I'll show you how fast it charges. You're gonna want another charger. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat. If you're gonna buy this, you should factor it into the price. Here's the blade that comes in the box. 48 tooth, soft and hard wood, max RPM 8,000. Installed in here is a 56 tooth professional that I bought that works really well. We're gonna use both. We'll check them out. Giving this a quick look, I'm gonna tell you right now, there are a lot of improvements on this model versus the corded 6.5. There's stuff here I see that I like all over this. So we'll start in the back here. This button here allows you to plunge your saw, and it also releases the trigger so you can pull the trigger. This works as a dual safety. On the old saw, it was set in and kind of sticky, and if you didn't hit it right, it wouldn't work. This works no matter where I press it, and it's easy to press. We have a place for our batteries and a speed control. 2 buttons here to change your speed electronically and indicators for your batteries, but we'll get into that. On the front here, we have our scales for beveling our saw and the depth of cut. The adjuster for this just slides up and down. It's a little bit loose. It's 2 positions here for when you have your saw on a track and when you don't. On the old saw, there was this little hard to get to finger that would pop up. So if you were using it on a track, they've gone with the more traditional just step piece of plastic. We have bevel knobs. On both sides, you got one here and then obviously one in the back, just like every track saw. Beveling our saw. There's an indicator. We go up to about 48 degrees on that. There's these 2 levers here that push in. They're spring loaded. When we have our saw flat, we can press these levers and our saw will drop down to -1 degree. Pulling it up a little and they pop back out. The little tab that prevents your saw from falling over or coming out of the track. Instead of being on a rotating knob like it was before, it is now just this little tab that comes in and out. And we have knobs here for adjusting the saw on our track. When we turn that knob, all it does is rotate a cam that adjusts that little plastic hoop here to tighten up your track. Very simple. The anti-reverse cam that was here on the old saw is gone, and I'm not gonna miss it. It was a safety feature that I felt bad removing, but in reality, it was kind of a pain in the neck and made the saw not slide the best. Our little 3-function switch is back. Down is scribe, so your blade will come down about 2.5 inches just so you can cut a groove in something. The middle position here is full plunge, and then the top position up here allows you to plunge your saw by pressing the button, and it will stop there so you can access the arbor screw here so you can get your blade out. Pressing the button, this button here releases it back, and you have your arbor lock in the same spot here, and that's pretty much it. Simplified a little bit for this design, with easier to read scales in the same basic form factor and size. I don't hate this. Removing our blade, we no longer have a cord with a sleeve to attach this. You get a little Allen key. We'll plunge our saw there and press our arbor lock. And our arbor's locked. We have regular thread, left-handed thread on this. Arbor screw. Washer. And 56 tooth professional thin curve tracksaw blade that I purchased. The blade that came with it. Hard and softwood tracksaw blade, 6.5 inch, 48 tooth. It's just that simple to change the blade. Stow our wrench. We'll flip that back down to full plunge. And now we have full plunge again. It came with two 4 amp hour batteries. The Tracksaw will indicate it's missing a battery or has bad contact and will not work with one battery. So you have to have both batteries installed. Changing the speed up and down. Pretty loud, and it stops pretty quick. We'll sound check it just for giggles. One last thing included, little dust elbow, just press fits in there. And you can put it at different positions. It does crowd the hand just a little, but it's fine. It's our Powertec tracks. Just like when they come in this unassuming cardboard box, there's an Allen key stuck to the front there, and 2 tracks. Looking pretty standard as tracks go. Double foam on the bottom. This is a little more flexible than some of them. And a couple plastic strips to make it slide nice. 2 tracks obviously, and a couple connectors. The screws already installed. I also picked up the clamps, because why not? Standard pistol grip. Yeah, they seem pretty nice. Plastic. Nice big pad on them. We'll see how those do. We'll see if we need them. With the Wen tracks, you need the clamps because the tracks are slippery and they won't stick to anything. These, I'm hoping, are a little nicer because they are more expensive. Not too shabby. Slides nice and smooth. These 2 knobs here adjust those cams on the bottom, which tighten us up on our track. There is a little bit more resistance pushing it with it properly adjusted. We get it to where there's no movement and it does still slide nice. So let's bed in the track. We'll connect the 2 together and make sure they're straight. And then let's test the batteries. We're gonna run this thing like crazy. We're gonna slice up a sheet of plywood and we'll see what the longevity of these batteries and how many linear feet we get. But so far, not too bad. So we got 1930 seconds sheet of plywood 4x8. It probably qualifies more as sheathing than as plywood that you'd want to build something decent out of. Honestly, for the price of plywood nowadays, I hate to burn a sheet of Baltic birch so we can see how many linear feet we get out of a $200 track saw. So let's hook this up. We'll set up our track. We'll bed it in. We'll slice this thing up. I'm gonna go like 1/2 inch at a time. Let's see how far we can get on those batteries. This piece of wood has a little bit of a bow to it, but we haven't cut anything and there's no sawdust stuck to the bottom of these tracks yet. So I'm putting my weight on this and I'm sliding the wood around more than I'm sliding the tracks. It's not bad. They're sticking, but I think the bow of the wood's gonna not give them enough contact surface to really be able to figure that out. I guess I could flip the wood over, but we'll cut it like this. We're gonna probably just use the clamps just for safety's sake so we're not sliding around. Screw down one of these on the bottom here. Now let's check it with the straight edge. And it appears to be straight as an arrow. Totally straight. Just button them up together, straight. That's nice to know. This part of our clamp here just slides into this groove on the end and just hangs there. Goes up under the board, and then pistol grip tightens down. Simple. We got it clamped. We're hanging off the end here a little bit so we can bed this in. Always makes a giant mess in here. For those of you who are new to track saws, the first time you get a track, you have to cut through this soft, this one feels rubbery, but sometimes they're hard plastic. Once you cut through this, you'll get a nice edge that you can line up your cut with. So we're gonna do the first cut. I cannot recommend enough that you do this outside the first time, because it trashes this place every time I do this, but I do it for your amusement, so let us proceed. Every time. So now that I have hundreds of feet into both of these tracks, I'm gonna tell you, they're not that dissimilar. This was 130. I believe I paid about $65 or $70 for the pair of these. They are about the same thing. The Powertec sticks better. This is slipperier. The 5-inch difference matters. Because if you're gonna do full length, 8 foot, this 50-inch, 100-inch total track here will put you right at the ends. And it gets a little tight, starting and stopping on the ends. You gotta run right to the end of the track. 55 is a better length, but is it double the cost better? You guys decide. I like the Powertecs. I'm keeping these for sure. I probably won't use these much anymore. Just for the ability to not use clamps covered in sawdust. And they stick pretty good. With the saw on them, no movement. It's gonna be a little tough to show you, but if I move the camera back and forth, you can see right here, there's a bump in this plastic. I don't know if it's the plastic itself or if something got under it and stuck to the adhesive. But there is a little bit of a bump, like you can really feel it with your finger there. Does it affect the cut? I doubt it. It's pretty small, but the Wen track is pretty smooth. Also, to my surprise, to my surprise, the 48 tooth blade that came with this saw versus the 56 that finished the test, the 48 makes a slightly cleaner cut. This is the 56. This one here is the 48. The performance is so similar, I can't tell you that I changed blades. There's no difference in performance, and the 48 does just fine. So there's no reason not to get the 56, but I think you do just fine with the blade that comes with it. I'm pretty impressed with this one. One of two. We started at 11. Finally charged. 2 hours, 5 minutes it took to charge this thing. Oh man. That's a crazy amount of wood right there. 39 8-footers and 19 2-footers for a total of 350 linear feet out of 2 of these inexpensive batteries. I'm impressed. Cut clean. The biggest shortfall of this saw that I can tell you right now is this. Comes with one 2 amp hour charger for 2 4 amp hour batteries. You're gonna want another charger. I wish there was like a 5 amp dual charger option, and who knows, they might be coming out with that because I'm sure they see the shortfall of this also. But for $186, this saw really impressed me. Like, really impressed me. There's almost no compromise with this, except for this battery situation. It cuts clean, it's got enough power, all the power you need. The other problem, the other thing that isn't so great is dust collection. Now, someone's gonna comment that you can get a little 3D printed cover, and I'm sure there's some other accessories. Etsy's a good source for that stuff. And they're probably right. I don't have it to test, but maybe that'll be a short. Let me know. We can test and see what the difference really is, because this thing threw some dust around, even with the vacuum hooked up to it. Without the vacuum, it's a total nightmare, but I'm really impressed. For $186, $86 more than the corded 6.5 that we already tested. This is absolutely worth the extra money, I think. I like not having another cord around here. There's cords everywhere. This place is cord city with lights and cameras and chargers and things. And one less cord is nice because I trip over this stuff a lot in here, moving around, and I'm happy with my cordless tools. There's always a compromise with them, like this thing. But honestly, this is a very nice track saw for a very low price. The other disadvantage, which isn't Wen's fault, I don't have anything else to use these batteries with. There are other planers and things, other tools you can use these with, but right now I have a dedicated battery system just for this track saw. So there's that disadvantage. You know, I'm not probably gonna go all in on Wen cordless power tools in here, but we have the batteries now. We might as well get something else to test. Maybe the planer. That might be the next step. Check it out. You guys let me know. What do you guys think? Is it worth it? Do you spend a little bit more and get, like, say, the Ryobi? Because I'm sure me and a lot of you have those batteries, and that might just make more sense because you have the batteries already. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're inclined, hit like or subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you like tool videos, we do a lot of them. So come on back. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.